Bill requiring the UK Treasury to cut the budget deficit in half in the next 4 years. Well, joining me now to discuss all of this and more is Paul Johns, the Vice President of Global Markets. Paul, thank you so much for being in the studio.
You're welcome.
You, of course, deal with compliance on a day-to-day basis.
Right.
After listening to the Queen's speech, have more clients of yours actually rung up and said, well, Paul, what can we do about this? Because we're concerned that actually the regulators will crack down on us.
I think there's been a run-up to the speech anyway, so there are some themes that have begun to emerge, and maybe the speech served to reinforce some of those themes. So a couple of the key words that came out were around trust and sustained growth. One of the things that we're seeing with our clients, particularly the compliance professionals in key firms around the world, is a need to understand the risks that are being taken as they relate to every product taken to every market, around every rule that changes globally. It's no longer enough to blindly conceive, create, construct a product, sell it indiscriminately, pay those bonuses related to the performance without understanding the risk. So transparency and a lot more accountability around the products you take to market.
But it does seem also that the speech was putting bills after bills after bills that will just never get passed.
That's right, 11 bills, I think it was, with 70 working parliamentary days left. I think it's fair to say that Labour set out a very aggressive agenda for the Conservative Party potentially to follow up on. But the themes and the message is very clear, and I think the priorities have been clearly laid out. Regardless of which party wrote that particular speech, it's very clear both parties are going to take a much harder line, and the regulators are going to come a lot more hard at those key firms in the global markets.
Now, bankers' bonuses,
Sure.
I mean, something that we've talked about practically every day for the last year and a half in the UK in every tabloid. Is there any assurance from the bankers that because the Queen said that the contracts won't be torn up, previous contracts, that they can sleep a little bit better at night?
Well, I think it's important to remember that, you know, the saber rattling that happens as a market begins to recover is never going to give you the sustained regulatory environment that you really need. So I wouldn't pay too much attention to what you're hearing right now. It's not sustainable, neither is it realistic. We do not believe that contracts should be torn up. We do believe, however, that bonuses should be directly tied to the positive performance of credible, viable products taken to market.
Paul, thank you so much. Paul Johns there. Well,